Thank you very much. I welcome the debate. I welcome the Minister to the House, and I commend him for all the work that he's doing in local government, not just in this issue, but across a range of issues that he's tackled from the get-go. I was involved as a member of a local authority for 17 years. I have a deep passion for this, and I think it's evident that you share that passion and you're driving it. So well done to you, Minister. Here, in front of me are two articles. One has a headline that says councillors in line for a pay bump that will see them net an extra €8,000. The other has a headline that says long saw pay rise expected to be in the region of €8,000. They are, for the most part, once you strip away the sensationalist adjectives, pretty much the same article, with one notable difference. One was written last week, one was written in 2019. And that, Minister, is where we are, a saga that's now running longer than Game of Thrones. I walked down to the committee rooms in November 2019 with Senator Victor Boyan to the local government committee when we went down to do our job, questioned the then Minister John Paul Phelan on the imminent publication of the Moorhead report, only for it to be leaked on Morning Ireland that particular morning as we were walking down before we got to the room. And that was the manner in which business was being conducted back then. And let's not forget it, because there's a narrative developing here politically around the current situation, and one wonders whether those spreading it are developing amnesia. Now, I met the Minister back when I was shadowing him, 10th of July 2019, in his office, and the Minister told me that the memo on the report would be going to Cabinet at the last Cabinet meeting of that summer. That's July 2019. That's what he told me. There wasn't two men in the room. Senator Mark Daly was with me in the room that day as well. So we know what was said, and I made notes on what was said. So that was the message that was delivered, Minister, quite clearly by your predecessor. This was going to be sorted in summer 2019, and here we are nearly 2 years later, and it quite clearly isn't. I mean, it was sitting on his desk that long, it could have mutated, sprouted legs, and actually walked to the Cabinet room on its own. Moving on from that period, though, because I think, as evident by the speeches here today, people want to get to a resolution to this report and the work that's carried out, because I said at the outset, there are people that believe that the councillors of this country must now be on a six-figure salary. It's been announced that many times. So let's be clear, what we're talking about is a current remuneration of just €17,000 for the work that they do. They are without doubt the lowest paid members, not employees, members of a local authority system. Yet they are the public persons who deal with the queries on a daily basis. They also act as ambassadors on behalf of the executive to promote the positive work being done by local authorities. Now, prior to the publication of the report, the representative bodies of the councillors, both the AILG, who at the time was led by Louis McIntyre, then Mick Cahill, and now Councillor Mary Hode, and in Lama's case, our late colleague Mags Murray, who I pay tribute to and remember today, and Micheál Anglim as well. And both bodies spent time, as Senator Boyan said earlier, setting out the work done by their members across a range of areas, and how they're expected to be knowledgeable in a range of areas. And indeed, as the Cathaoirleach Mark Daly said earlier, he must have been reading back on my speech from my introduction of the Local Government Bill in 2017, when he quoted the numbers of representatives. In France, one councillor for every 78 citizens. In Ireland, one for every 4,000. We've the lowest in Western Europe. And the knifing of town councils was not just an act of barbarism towards local democracy, but it also resulted in a whole addition, and you would appreciate this, Minister, as a Mullingar man, a whole addition of extra work from the urbanised areas onto the county councillors. And I acknowledge the comments by Senator Rebecca Moynihan here earlier in noting that Labour were wrong in participating in the destruction of town councils, as did her former leader Brendan Howlin in the last Dáil as well. Now, what is most worrying from the analysis of the Moorhead report, and indeed others since the research was done, is that as a body politic, we're going to find it increasingly difficult, no matter what party or independence, to attract new people into politics. It's okay for people to make derisory comments and scoff about these kinds of debate, but that is the stark reality. The level of commitment to hold local office since I got first elected as a 21-year-old in 1999 is immense. The legislative requirements that we expect people to be au fait with, the attacks that they are now subjected to in terms of social media that we probably brush off, even though we shouldn't, at national level, but is now part and parcel of local democracy, is also there, and it is wrong. Why would a young person subject themselves to that and become involved in our local democratic institution? How are we going to attract the next generation? And again, it's all right for people to scoff at that, but as we saw in America, There is a fine line and it can be destroyed. So to those who scoff at this, at those who put themselves out there at a local level, our local councillors are promoting and maintaining the very democracy that we enjoy. And the backdrop to this debate is also there are several county development plans going on at this current time in my own county in Meath, and your own county is Westmeath. They are very detailed documents setting out the futures of our particular counties, towns and villages, and the level of knowledge and commitment, 8-hour days every day on weeks on end, to be involved in that process. Finally, I just want to say, there were remarks made earlier about people's commitment to this particular process and this report. We now, for the first time ever, have a commitment to actually implementing the recommendations of the Moorhead report in the programme for government. I know that all 20 Fianna Fáil senators are behind that process, and I said I would say that here today on behalf of all the members that we are representing. I appreciate, Minister, that you acted when you came into office in respect to this. You put it on your agenda. You put the wheels in motion. You are to be commended for that. But now we need to see this process come to a conclusion, because effectively this comes down to a simple issue. Do we value the work of our local councillors? And if we agree that we do, then we need to put the support in place for them. Thank you very much, Ciarán.
Thank you, Senator.